Good day, everyone. Welcome to another Solution Sunday, where the soul is the solution.
Good day, everyone.
And the reverberation always happens. So good morning, everyone. We are live in Soul Sourced Healing on Facebook, and I am here today with my good friend, Judy Moen. She is here on this planet at this time for spreading love. She is the creator of the Back to Love movement. And today we are going to talk about the healing power of love. Love is the greatest healer. We've all heard that. So let's talk about it today. Judy, good morning.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Hey,
I'm so looking forward to this call.
Yay. And I was on your show last week too, which was super fun.
Yes, it was. It was very fun. Always good to talk with you. That's for sure.
Likewise.
Definitely. Yeah. We're here to spread love. After all, it is life's original vibrational energy. It's a cure-all for anything.
It is. You know, when we look at where we come from love. You know, I share this story often of when I was a little girl, 2 and 3 years old. I would go to sleep at night. I would lay in my bed and I would just close my eyes and I would just float and I would just be part of the unified field of unconditional love. And when I looked around, that's all there was just love. There was no judgment, no competition, no right and wrong, good and bad, everything just experience. And just this beautiful, pure, high vibration. And at that time, I knew that that's what is. Like, that's everywhere. And that's where we come from.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wasn't as blessed. I came from, like a lot of people, trauma, drama, the whole bit. But I refer to it like pilot light on a stove. That love was always there. Regardless of what was done to me, that love couldn't be extinguished. So I always knew that it was bigger than anything on this earth, even though I didn't always experience it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's true for all of us. I mean, we're all looking for that love.
Yeah.
This society that we live in is not conducive to love.
No. It's, everyone would like to have, and it's not just the romantic love or the love for a mother to a daughter or son or whatever. It's a love for one another as another human being, to recognize each other with compassion, respect, integrity, kindness, joy, and love.
Exactly.
Which you would think would be very easy to do.
One would think, right? But geez, we look at the way the world is set up, and we see that the governments that rule the world, they do not operate from love at all. It's all completely about control.
Yes.
And, so because that permeates all societies, that control structure, we don't experience love, and just as humanity in general, we are not loved by the governments, by the ones who are controlling us, by the ones who make the rules and call the shots, so to speak. And it's not about loving and kindness and compassion.
No, not at all. And it's very programmed.
Exactly. And we look at those news programs and we see the mudslinging and the warmongering and the fear mongering, and there's no love there at all, period.
No, and it's like all to divide us, basically separate us.
Exactly.
Love doesn't know color. Love doesn't know race. Love doesn't know the difference between different cultures, etc. Love is just pure, fierce, divine love. It's that frequency.
Exactly. Love
Yeah.
for life itself. I often refer to it as like the living life force energy
Oh,
that
definitely.
that gives life to everything. Everything that is alive is filled with this living life force energy.
Yep. Nature,
Exactly.
everything, the water, and water has a memory. So it's really cool if you can give love to water because it remembers and it spreads it.
Exactly. I love that. Most people have heard of Dr. Emoto and his amazing experiments with water. And you take 2 jars of water from the same lake, the same stream, the same ocean, and you put a label of fear or hate or guilt or shame on that jar of water. And then you take the second jar and you put a label of love or peace or joy or freedom. And then you put those 2 waters side by side on a microscope, under a microscope, and you will see that the structure of the water is completely different between the 2 jars. So
Yes.
he proved that water has intelligence and memory.
It's truly amazing too, his work that he did. And
Yeah,
it should have been spread more widely, I think, or basically sung from the top of the mountain type of thing, because it is just unbelievable
exactly.
when you recognize that.
And we talk about our bodies are mostly water.
True.
So
Very true.
the words that we say have a direct influence on the shape of our bodies, the shape of the water in our bodies.
Yeah.
So the water is constantly listening to every word we say. And
Yeah.
when we're living in I'm not okay land, and in this society that judges us and compares us and makes us feel less than, we just simply live at this less than um, level, and our bodies reflect that.
Yeah. Well, you become convinced. It's that old what you think becomes your reality. And the
Exactly.
more you say it, the more you believe it. So every time you repeat, I'm this, I'm that. And it works the opposite way too. If you say, I'm wonderful, my body's in perfect order, I'm love, that happens too.
Exactly. As long as you're fully in belief of that, like if you're living that and embodying it, that absolutely.
Right.
But if
And
we're
even if
saying
you
it
don't,
to try to convince ourselves, that's a different story.
well, even though you got to start somewhere though, even if
Yep.
you don't believe it, if you start saying it, eventually there will become a day where you do believe it.
Yeah.
It might take you a little while. And of course, it's more effective if you do believe it. And there's
Mm-hmm.
no reason you shouldn't believe it because it is true.
Exactly.
All of us are divine love. That's who we be. It's the essence of us.
Exactly. We're body, mind, and soul. The
Right.
soul is the part that is always in that divine perfection. It's the part of us, the majority of us, like the major part of us that we overlook. This in this world, we are taught to overlook the soul because we're taught to overlook anything that's not physical. The
Right.
soul is non-physical. So we're just taught that, oh, that doesn't exist. That's something that you find it after you die. Like, well, noticing it while you're alive is a whole lot more fun and interesting because that's where all the power is. That's where all the love is. And when we start noticing who and what we are, we start to actually love and appreciate ourselves because we start to see that the human part has been so maligned. It has been used and abused and degraded, and we start to appreciate how resilient we actually are.
Yes, we do abuse our bodies a lot. We really do. And love is the magic. Love is where all the magic is. That soul is the magic. And it's so amazing that that's what we're taught to discount, is the soul, is the love. Love can change everything. I mean, and love doesn't have to be like this whole big thing. It can be a simple smile to someone. It can be a gesture of opening a door for someone. It can, just helping someone, just taking that extra little minute it takes to help someone. All expressions of love.
Right. And it always feels good.
Yes.
When you hold the door open for somebody's, just a simple act of kindness. And it's like, you don't even think about it. It's like you just hold the door for somebody. And
right.
It just feels good.
Right. And then it snowballs.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more other people start doing it, and then they start doing it, and it just spreads. It's like contagious.
Yeah.
And it's a difference between surviving and thriving, I think.
I love that. Yeah. I always say that we're not here to survive. We are here to thrive.
Exactly. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I always say I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Because that's what love can do. It's also, I look at it this way. I say this a lot too, because it's been shown to me. Breath of life is breath of love. Because that's where we came from. Love is where we came from, and that's the breath of life.
Exactly. That's how the soul comes into the body, is through that breath. When we stop breathing, the body stops functioning. The soul leaves the body.
Yes.
So, and the more we can consciously use our breath and consciously connect to our soul and consciously breathe living life force energy into our bodies, the stronger we are, the more resilient we are, the healthier we are. Living life force energy is far stronger than any pill on the planet.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I've also experienced myself at least 3 different times in this past year where just breathing the breath of life, the breath of love for someone else that were in the hospital I've seen them come out of the hospital. I've been told you can breathe for them. And so I did. And it works every time. It's like a really good mantra.
I love that.
Yeah, it's very effective. I have a little process I do with it when I do it, but just even saying it for someone that's in need will help them. Of course, like you said, you've got to have that intention behind it. It's not just a mindless thought. It has to have that love behind it, which is really easy. I don't know why it's so hard for some people, but to me, love is the easiest thing in the world. It's just there, and it's for everybody. It's free, doesn't cost you a thing, and it's just a way better way of living.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so amazing that we become so hypnotized in this world to believe that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not rich enough. All of these messages that are sent to us.
Like we're not the perfect model.
Exactly.
Of whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. If you don't look like that cover model, then you must be ugly. If you don't have billions of dollars, then you're nothing.
If you don't get straight A's in school, like, then they make the student feel worthless.
Yeah, exactly. It's so damaging. This whole society, I feel, is an anti-life society. We grow up. It's not fostering love or brilliance or joy or prosperity for anyone. It really is the exact opposite when we look at the structure of our society and we see that 1% own 90% of all the world's resources. This is not love. This has nothing to do with that. When we have people that are living in abject poverty without even access to clean drinking water, and we see the rainforest being cut down, burned down, slashed and burned, and it's really a very anti-life society.
Yeah, it's all greed based.
Exactly.
And fear too.
Yep.
False evidence appearing real, as we all know.
Yeah.
It's not how it's supposed to be either.
Mm-mm.
It's supposed to be where everyone's abundant, where everyone doesn't want for anything, that if you have extra, or even if you don't have extra, if someone's going without, you give, you share it, and you don't worry about, oh, I'm not going to have it. Oh, what will I do? Like most people do, or you even see it with like driving. People want to get ahead of you and beat you to that light because that 20 seconds is really going to make a difference in their life. I never did understand that, but I love it because usually at the next light, you end up being right even with them. So it didn't even matter that they dodged around every car and sped ahead. They didn't get much further, basically. But you see it all the time. It's like a me. They turn the world into like a me. People get me. Everything's focused on just me and not about anyone else or anything else. And it's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be we're all abundant, we're all thriving. No one should be homeless. And homeless people, I think, get a rotten rap because everyone always assumes that it's a drug addict or an alcoholic or a worthless being. Nobody knows how that person got there. And that's a human being just like you. Can you imagine if you had to go up to somebody and ask for money and that was the only way you could survive? That has to be horrible. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I really don't. And so I'm always, if I have the money, I mean, there's been times in my life where I didn't have the money, but if I have the money, I give because I can't even imagine being in that way. And everyone says, oh, well, you know what they're going to do. It doesn't matter what they do with it. My responsibility stops once I give them that money. It's their money at that point. And what they choose to do with it is their choice, not mine. I'm not supposed to give the money with a condition. Mm-hmm. I'm giving the money out of love. And it's what they want to do with it is up to them. And that's where my responsibility stops. That's how I feel anyway.
Beautiful. Yeah. And that really is, the essence of unconditional love is giving without condition. Exactly. Giving without expectation of gathering in return. Although when we freely give, the universe just automatically is generous. When we are generous, generosity is in return. This is how that law of attraction works. It's not about getting. It's about the generosity. It's about the plenty, that there is plenty for all of us. When we share, when we stop separating ourselves, stop judging each other, there is plenty for everyone.
Yes, no one has to go without. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, we've been conditioned and programmed to believe that that's true. That you got to hoard, you got to save, you got to keep, and you can't share because if you do, you'll never get it again. Just so false, because it's that old, what goes around comes around. What you put out there comes back to you. What is it? Tenfold? Isn't that what the Bible says?
Mm-hmm.
What you put out there comes back to you tenfold. Isn't that the truth?
Exactly.
And that's a big key for people that are looking for abundance, because that seems to be a big theme for people. They want abundance and they have a hard time finding it. I was one of those. And then all of a sudden I realized what it was all about. And I don't even balance my checkbook anymore. I just know money's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even worry about it. I just don't. I use it for what I want, and it's always there. And when you can get to that point, then you get it. You know, it's like abundance is not an issue.
Exactly.
It's never an issue. Yeah. So it's crazy how that works. I was going to say too, before we get on too far, I had a homeless woman once. It was Christmas time and it was winter. And down here in Florida, of course, winter's not as brutal as up north, but for Floridians, it's brutal. And she had on the big puffy coat and she was squeezed against the wall of the store between the two the newspaper stands. And I handed her a 20. And she took it and she goes, "Oh no, you gave me too much." She's giving me my 20 back because it's too much. And I said to her, "No." She goes, "All I need is a couple dollars so I can get breakfast." And I said, "No, it's yours. Keep it." And she was just like, but she's so conditioned from the scraps she gets from us that she believed that's all she was worth, was $2 or $3, because that's what she usually gets. So when I gave her a 20, she's giving it back to me because it's too much. Here she is with nothing. Everything she's got is in this cart piled. And she's telling me it's too much. I'm not kidding you. I cried the whole way home because I couldn't believe it, that she was like that, you know. And so that kind of destroys everyone's thinking of homeless people, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving her 20 and she's telling me I gave her too much and trying to give it back to me.
Yeah. You know, and when we think about, you know, we are infinite beings. We are the soul. We are these grand angelic beings of light. And we have been brainwashed into believing that we are useless or worthless or, you know, not worthy of $20.
Yeah.
You know, how much abuse has this woman taken, you know?
That's what I'm saying, is she's sitting there with nothing. Everything she's got is in this shopping cart next to her. Yeah. And she's telling me, who's driving a car, who's been in the store and bought things, that $20 is too much. Yeah. I mean, it was really a like wake-up call for me even, you know, to realize that she would say that. And it showed me too how we have conditioned her to believe that.
Exactly.
Which is really even more painful.
Yes, precisely.
You know, that's all she gets is a buck or two from people. Mm-hmm. So that when someone gives her extra, she's saying, "Oh no, you gave me too much." Mm-hmm. You know, I wouldn't say that was a drug addict. I would not say that was a loser. I would say that was a woman of love.
Absolutely. You know, Denise says, love, love, love this. Thank you. I do this all the time, but I need to trust wholeheartedly that money is infinite. For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know, money is such, you know, it's an artificial construct. It's something that men, you know, mankind created. And then they created all the rules that go with it. And the ones who created the money created the rules, and they created the rules so that all the money flows to them.
Exactly.
Like they give it to us and then we circle it right back to them. And, you know, all the money basically flows only in one direction. Right. It flows out of our pockets into their pockets.
Yes.
You know, and when we start to, and this has been going on for hundreds of thousands of years. This isn't like, you know, just happened yesterday. You know,
Right.
this is something that the kings and the queens and the emperors and the pharaohs, you know, this has always been the way it is.
Right.
They have all of the opulence, and then everybody else just works for a living.
Works hard.
Exactly. True. And the ones that have all the opulence, they don't have to work hard. They don't have to really do anything other than just keep making the rules.
And I always say, how many millions do you need?
Right? Exactly.
Right. Seriously. I mean, how many millions do you need? It's just crazy to me. And how many homes? They all have like a home here, a home there, a home there. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I'm just saying, how about sharing some of that? How about spreading it across everywhere? Exactly. And then let's get to nature, like the rainforest, like you said, cutting it. How many trees do we need to ruin? How many beautiful nature that gives back to us, that keeps our environment in check, do we have to destroy because of greed so that this millionaire can have more millions? Mm-hmm. What is it going to take to wake people up that this isn't the way it's supposed to be?
Exactly. You know, when we look and see that this planet is living, everything on this planet is alive. The trees, the grasses, the plants, the animals, the waters, the humanity are living on this planet. The tree has just as much right to live as we do, as the animals, as the dolphins, as the whales do.
Exactly.
But the trees, they're just treated like they're just things.
Oh yeah, they're money.
Exactly.
They represent money to most people, or the people that are cutting them down, let's put it that way.
Yeah. You know, what we don't see is that these trees are literally the lungs of the planet. That with this, it's a living, breathing planet. It's not a dead rock floating through space. It is a living, breathing planet. And in order for it to live and breathe, the waters are the lifeblood. They are what circulate and feed the living things on the planet, just like your blood circulates and feeds your cells. The trees are the lungs, which filter out, they take the oxygen. Well, here the trees take in the carbon dioxide, and they give off the oxygen. Our lungs take in the oxygen and give off the carbon dioxide. It's this beautiful symbiotic relationship. But now we have trees and forests that are just being devastated. And now we've got pollution throughout all of the airs of the planet that's being sprayed every day from all of these jets. And, you know, we start to look at who's doing all of this. You and I are not polluting the planet. We are not dumping toxic waste into the rivers. We are not spraying toxic chemicals in the air, but somebody is.
Right.
Who's doing this?
Exactly.
And if we look at humanity as a whole, the majority of us don't do these kind of things.
Yeah.
There's only a tiny portion. If we simply address that tiny portion, we can change the entire world literally overnight.
I totally agree. But that's the problem, is we don't address those people.
Exactly.
We allow those people to do this.
Yep. We just say it is the way it is.
And what can I do?
Yep.
Is another really infamous saying.
Exactly.
It's just like trees. Look what they give back to you. You can ground with a tree. They give you shade. They give you wind. They give you love unconditionally.
Exactly.
So hug a tree. Don't forget to.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too is I want to bring up like the manatees. I'm in the ocean. I've swam in the wild with manatees several times,
Mm.
which I must admit is such a beautiful experience. And you talk about love. There's love when they come up to you and want to interact with you. I mean, it's just like nothing else. And then I hear we had over 1,000 deaths of manatees last year, a record. Why? You aren't going to believe this. They're starving to death. Why? Because we have polluted the ocean so badly, it won't grow seagrass, which is what they eat. Shame on us.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on us. Starving.
Right.
It's horrible.
Wow.
And then I saw the other day that they tested bonefish, and bonefish have 7 different pharmaceuticals in them. Drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Is it natural for a fish to have pharmaceuticals in their system?
It's not natural for anybody to have pharmaceuticals in our system, really, when we look at it.
Yes.
The pharmaceuticals are, they're man-made, they're artificial, they're synthetic, and they literally cause the body to go into a different rhythm. Every once in a while, I'm not villainizing all pharmaceuticals, they can be helpful, but not for long term, because they throw the body into an irregular rhythm.
Well, it's just like a Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a temporary, it's not forever. It's a temporary solution.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I get bit by a spider, like I'll just swell up like crazy. It's like a little Benadryl or whatever it is. It's going to be fine. It's helpful.
Right.
But I take 1 or 2 and then done. Like, that's it.
You're not taking them every day, and you don't have a case labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday filled with 4 or 5 different pills to take just to stay functioning.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the biggest lies ever told to us.
Yes.
All it is a way for the whole big machine to increase their greed, their money. Exactly. It's like this big wheel that turns. I always used to say to my friends, all you're doing is giving that doctor another swimming pool. No offense to the doctors, but just basically to give it a perspective is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we start to realize that our bodies are designed to heal themselves automatically for free, but only every single time.
And that's part of the magic of love.
Exactly. It's about the ability to trust our own body. When we start to understand that the symptoms of sickness and disease are biologically purposeful. There's a meaning to them. Our bodies actually need to be able to get sick. Our bodies produce disease. Our bodies are not being attacked by diseases. They are produced by the body on purpose. When we start to understand that there is a purpose to all of this, then we stop fighting our bodies. When we start to understand, oh, my body is telling me something. Let me listen to my body. Let me understand why my body's doing what it's doing. So then I can take the proper steps within me to change this. It doesn't come from a pill. It comes from loving ourselves back into balance.
Yeah. But that's the problem. A lot of people don't believe they can, and a lot of people don't want to do what they call work. They would rather just pop a pill and have it disappear for the time being, not realizing that down the road, it's going to come back and bite you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to come back and bite you.
Yeah,
it might even
just
bite you
programming.
Yeah, it is.
We are programmed to believe And when we turn on the TV and every other commercial is about a pill for this and a pill for that, it just sinks right in. And as soon as something shows up, well, I better go get a pill for that. And we don't even think beyond the pills.
It's like subliminal messages.
Yep.
Whether you're paying attention to it or not, your mind picks it up. And it's like, do you have this? And these are the symptoms. And do you have that? I mean, on almost every commercial there is, or I don't know, because I really don't watch TV.
I don't watch TV either.
It's like one of the best ways to free yourself is to unplug from it.
Exactly.
I'm not saying you have to totally. I mean, I've got certain shows I love, but what I do is I record everything and then I zip through all the commercials and I watch it on my time. So I'm not like glued to it, and I'm not being subjected to all the commercials.
Yeah, it got to the point where I couldn't stand the commercials anymore.
No.
I just got rid of the whole thing altogether. It's just like, and you know what? I don't even miss the shows that I used to love. I found all kinds of other things that I actually like even more than sitting around watching TV. And, there's so much richness to life that we miss out on when we're sitting in front of the boob tube.
Yeah. And the other thing is the news. That's like the worst thing you can ever listen to, because that is just that's how they programmed us.
Exactly.
That's how they programmed the whole world with all the garbage on the news. And everyone always turns to the news for the answers.
Right.
The answers are inside us.
Exactly.
We don't need the news to tell us the answers.
Exactly.
The answers are inside us.
Yeah.
So crazy. And that's another thing I was going to say is gestures of love don't always have to be associated with money either. They can be just simple words of kindness to another person. I had this guy, I was out watering my plants in the front porch, and I had this young man, good looking guy, come walking up, and he asked me if he could use his cell phone because he was supposed to be picked up for work and they hadn't shown. And I said, well, let me go inside and get it and you can use it. And so I came back out and I gave him the cell phone. And he was telling me how they were telling him his friends were picking him up because he was going to go audition for male dancing. And I said, is that what you want to do? And he said, well, not really, but they tell me with my looks and my body, I could make a lot of money in it. And I simply said to him, well, don't let other people put you in a box. And he said, what? And I said, you heard me. I said, if it's not what you want to do, don't let other people put you in that box. And he goes, never thought of it that way. Then he goes, thanks for the phone. I said, no worries. And he got halfway down the stairs and he turned around and he goes, don't let people put me in the box. I like that one. And I said, have a wonderful day. Because it's so true. He's being conditioned that he should go do this.
Right.
And it's not what he really wants to do.
Exactly.
But because the money's there, he's been told the money's there, he's doing it.
Yeah.
Wrong reason.
Exactly.
And so just little simple things like that, noticing other people, noticing their pain, noticing their desires, noticing, that they need a kind word or a smile or a hug or whatever.
Exactly.
And it's free and it's easy to give, and you've got it to give, which is the beauty of it all.
Yeah. We have Denise that says, I've always said that with people with surplus, please share it. Wish people would learn the lesson of sharing. I'm going to teach my nephew's great niece to help make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and bring them to the homeless people. Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it is very nice.
Right?
Thanks, Denise.
Yeah.
We need more people like you.
Exactly. We teach children to be able to share. It's a lifelong lesson when they understand that sharing is caring, and that we can share unconditionally.
Right. Well, I always say, if you got it, give it.
Exactly.
If you got it, give it.
Yeah.
If you don't, that's another story. But if you got it, give it. And some people, even if they don't have it, give it. Mm-hmm. Even if it means they're going to go without. I know some people like that, that are very generous, very generous. But that's what the Back to Love movement's all about. And I need everyone's help. The more, the merrier. It's a website, backtolovemovement.com. Doesn't cost you a thing to join. You just put your email in there. And any stories, Denise probably has a few. Any inspiration, anything that you'd like to share with the masses, you can send to the site, and we'll publish it. We'll put it on there. It's for humanity. It's something I was told to do by the divine, that I was supposed to start this movement, and that I knew how to do it, and to go for it. And they gave me the name as well. Told me that I had to call it Back to Love Movement. And it's a way to get everyone, and especially with the last 2 years we've all experienced, it's been hard on everybody, that people are looking for love.
Exactly.
Instead of this fear and wearing masks and being afraid to be around anyone, etc. It's not the way to live, not the way to live at all.
No.
We're a community. We're all supposed to be here thriving together.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just needed so desperately.
It is. So how do people find that? They go to Back to Love Movement?
Yep. www.backtolovemovement, all one word, of course, .com. You can go there. You can email me. It's Judy@backtolovemovement.com. I'm also on Facebook under Back to Love Movement. I'm on YouTube under Back to Love Movement, Judy Moen. So you can know which one's mine if there's more than one. So you can find it easy. And I've got videos on there. I have the spirituality bar where you get shots of high frequencies.
I love that.
My friend and I do those for fun. And they're short and sweet and light and pick people up. Of course, interviews like your interview will be on there. And if anyone would like to be interviewed, I'm open to anybody wanting to share what they have, their gifts, their love, etc. So it's like community-based. It's not just mine. It was created for humanity, for the masses, to get us all to stop being controlled by that 1%, and start being a community that all supports each other, and we're all abundant, we're all thriving together.
I love that.
Yes, I do too. I can see it. I've been shown it, put it that way.
Exactly. Me too. There are many of us who are the light bringers to this planet. We are the ones that are the older souls, that we are experienced in creating heaven on earth. And so we are here. We are the ones that hold the love. We hold that love and that light steady so that we can experience it and then share it with everyone else.
That's right. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, or what you're going through. Know you are loved, because you are. And you are love. You're not just loved, you are love. We are.
Yes.
And somewhere along the line, we've forgotten that. And we need to remember that.
Exactly.
Because with love comes the power, the magic, the fun, the joy, all of that.
Exactly. The well-being, the health, the vitality, the enthusiasm, the creativity, the excitement, the generosity, the kindness, all of this. This is who we are. Love, it's the fabric of the universe. It is the living life force energy of which we are all made. We all have been made of this living life force energy that is the unconditional love. But when we have come into these physical bodies, we have been conditioned out of that. We have been hypnotized into believing that we are just mere mortals. We're just human, that we don't have any control over our lives, that we simply have to follow the rules. Who made the rules? Why are we following them?
Yep. And I say, let's make new rules.
Exactly.
And let's quit following those old rules.
Exactly.
It's 2022. Let's create a new, is what I like to say.
Yes.
A new way. Let's create a love that's undeniable, that's never been experienced before by mankind. That's what I promote.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%.
Totally. You know, and any way to get there. Sometimes people need help, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Help's out there everywhere. I mean, you just have to look for it. It's there. I mean, I even do sessions for people if they need assistance in getting there or being shown it. And it's, like I said, it's everywhere. It's just like, there's no reason anyone shouldn't be able to experience it. And it is such a great way to be living. And I know because I came from a place of not love. Mm-hmm. And if I can get through that, anyone can get through it. No matter what, love shone through. Like I said, it was always that little pilot light. Mm-hmm. It couldn't be extinguished. It was always there. It might have been dulled, but it wasn't ever extinguished.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's up to each and every one of us to relight our own pilot light. You know, we actually have the control of that burner.
Yeah, that's right.
We can turn it up and down at will. The external world extinguishes the flame. They do everything they can to compare, to contrast, to diminish, to follow the rules. You know, you have to pay your taxes, you have to go to school, you have to do this. And it just simply dims our light.
And it's all control and fear as well.
Exactly. So in order for us to truly thrive, we need to have that pilot light lit. We need to have our burners fully operational.
Yes.
So I talk about it as like we are like the sun, you know, it's like we have a sun in the middle of our heart. But if it's just a teeny tiny little dot, we're not going to have a lot of light. But when we turn that up, we become full on suns of ourselves, where that living life force energy just blazes through and we light up the world, and we start to shed light on all of the shadows, all of the unawarenesses, all of the places where we have just simply followed the rules without questioning the rules or why the rules are the rules they are.
Right.
You know, when we start to question, we start to see things differently. You know, when I found myself facing cancer, I had the option of just following the rules and just doing what they said, or I could look in a different direction. I could start to seek my own answers. And I wanted to know how to heal my own body, because if I knew how to heal my own body, then I'd be able to heal it every single time. And if I could heal my own body every single time, I really wouldn't have any problem with a disease. Like, it really wouldn't be a big deal if I knew how to heal it. So that was my approach, because I didn't want to have to be afraid of cancer or some other disease ever again, because living in fear of being attacked by cancer is really a living nightmare. Believe me.
I can't even imagine. I can't
even
imagine.
It is not any fun.
No.
So I decided that I was going to figure out the answer no matter what, because I wanted to be in control of my own body. And when I found my own answers, I realized that the medical model doesn't have the answers.
No. And
They've
now,
been looking for the answers for decades upon decades and not finding the answers. Well, that's kind of odd, because I only looked for the answers for a really short period of time, and then it became completely crystal clear what the answer was. So how do I find the answer? And they're not. And I'm not the only one. I'm not special in this at all. Like, there are many people like me who have found the answer, but it's not broadcast on TV. So most people just keep going with what is.
no,
To keep
it's
going
not
with what
promoted.
is.
It's not promoted because it can't make lots of money for the greedy people. That's what it is.
There
For
you
that
go.
1% that wants money, 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 more money.
Exactly.
And the other thing is, now you know how to keep your body in balance, so you don't ever have to worry about another disease.
Exactly. I
And
won't
that's how
let my
we
body get
all,
so far out of balance that it creates a disease. Not going to happen.
and that's how we all should be. Why isn't this being taught in schools
Right?
to the youth
Exactly.
or to us even? Why wasn't it taught to us?
Because they didn't want us to know.
No,
Disease
because
is a great business plan.
because the pharmaceuticals, the doctors, the hospitals, it's all this big money making machine.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got to keep it going. It's like, what's the script of the month? And every doctor's out there writing it. Same thing with what's the operation of the year. And all of a sudden, everyone's got tonsillitis or everyone's got this. They change it, whatever they can push. It's just crazy. And if you really look at it, you'll see it.
Exactly.
You might never have thought of it that way, but if you look at it, you'll start seeing it.
Exactly. When you start to understand that getting sick is the way your body actually heals itself, is the way your body resets itself, clears out any of the toxins or poisons or old cells that it doesn't need anymore. That's actually how your body resets itself. If you can't get sick, you can't heal. Like, it seems like a mind bender, but if your body is not able to go through this process, the medical model teaches us, stop getting sick, prevent getting sick, prevent these diseases. Well, you're preventing meaningful biological functions, and we're being taught to be afraid of illness. And we have an entire world filled with people running around in fear of a natural biological process that doesn't actually have to happen, other than the fact that now everybody has been thrown into this fear mode. And guess what? Symptoms, that fear of death, the fear of being attacked by a killer disease, guess what part of your body is going to respond to that? The lungs respond to the fear of death. And when the lungs go to reset themselves, we have coughing, we have fever, we have congestion. It is a natural part of life. When we harbor these fears of death, we end up with lung issues, bronchial issues, pneumonia. Okay. The body has to then move through that process.
Yeah.
And we have to understand what's actually going on here, and that we're being driven to sickness, literally.
And we are all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. Energy just changes. It just changes up, down, all around. And love is the highest frequency energy ever. And it's like more people need to be aware of that we're all just a form of energy.
Exactly.
And once people grasp that idea, things will change tremendously.
Exactly. And energy is completely under our own control. energy is easy to change, to transmute, to move from one state to another. It's simple.
Yes.
Right?
Very simple.
But we've never been taught how to look at energy, recognize energy, work with energy, transform energy, because that's where all of our power is. And when we understand that fear is an energy and that love is an energy, and we actually get to choose,
right?
When we embody fear, just like back to the beginning of our conversation with Dr. Emoto and the water, our bodies are mostly water. When we are in fear, our body, our cells literally change their shape to reflect the fear. And then we wonder why we're sick.
True. And it's same thing with nature. It reminds me when you said that about fear. One time when I was at the beach, this golden crowned heron, which are the shorter ones with the black faces, they got the black on their face. Yeah. And they're very rare, but he came around the mangroves, and the minute he saw me, the fear, because I'm a human, right? And they, when they're afraid, this part of their neck wobbles, shakes, right? And so of course my first instinct is, oh, it's okay. And then I'm like, he doesn't understand language, Judy. And so then I thought, oh, I got it. So I put that energy of love. The minute I put the energy of love, this stopped. He came around and he parked himself next to me, like about 2 feet from me. All day he spent with me. As long as I was there, he was there with me. And it's all because I emoted the love energy, the frequency of love. He understood that. He didn't understand the language, but he understood that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what a great example of how we are in charge of our own energy. And how when you just simply noticed, oh, there's fear energy here, let me transmute that fear energy by sending love, because love always overrides fear. Love is the highest frequency on the planet. It always, high frequency always overrides low frequency. And we have full control over that.
Yeah, it's true. If you're anywhere, the energy frequency always goes to the highest level. Wherever the highest level of frequency, the rest will raise to that level. It's a proven fact. And love is the highest level there is. Exactly. And he even liked it so much, he wanted to stay in that love vibration. And so stayed around me the whole time I was down there, which was really cute.
That is so cool. Magical.
Yeah. And it's nice to experience it as well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, speaking of that, that's like light language. Like I can speak like light language, and a lot of people can, but that's what that is. It overrides your mind. It's because your mind starts resisting all these things. And so when someone speaks light language to you, that overrides your mind. It's the high frequency of love.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
If you would like to share some, please feel free. Keith is saying love is the answer to all questions.
Oh, yes. Beautiful. I love that, Keith. Thank you for that. That's so true. Yeah, if we're going to wrap up, right before we wrap up, I would be more than happy to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please feel free.
Are you ready?
Sure.
All righty. And this is for everyone out there. And this is coming, it's a soul language, and it's a frequency of love, obviously. Tushikashi diaki ni a, tushikashi aki, onekeshe de e, shi atiki achi. Tushikashi atiki shi a, nikashi ati, onekeshe de e, tikashi diatiki a. Love to all of you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Judy.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. This has been a pleasure being here.
It has been a beautiful, beautiful experience. I love talking about love. I love that you have the Back to Love movement. So please, everybody, backtoLoveMovement.com. Go sign up, join the movement, Back to Love.
Right. Be part of the movement and then tell two friends. So they'll tell two friends. So they'll tell two friends. Like I said, it doesn't cost a thing. Just putting in your name and contributing. I'd love to hear from people. Their different stories of inspiration, of love, etc. Just ways to spread this. If you've got something you're doing that shows love, I'll promote it for you free. And I also do interviews as well. Like I said, if you want to get your message across, I'm more than happy to interview you. We have to get this movement going. And this is one of the ways we can counterdict the 1% that's been controlling us. Let's take back our lives.
Yes, let's take back this planet and turn it into heaven on earth.
Literally, yes. And remember, love is life's original vibrational energy.
Love that. Beautiful. Denise says, you are both gifts. And Brendan Castor says, thank you so much. She has a beautiful story. She would be a great interview for you. She's got a book coming out pretty soon. So let's get the two of you together.
Awesome. I'm all for it.
Beautiful.
And thanks, Denise. You are a gift as well. We all are.
Exactly.
Because we're all love.
And Denise says, you'll hear from me tomorrow. Yay.
Yay.
There you go. Beautiful.
Let's get this movement going.
Exactly. Yay. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been another beautiful Soul-lution Sunday. Thank you, where the soul is the solution. So I'm Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing. You can find me at connectingyoutoyou.com, spelled out in full. And you can find Judy at backtoLoveMovement.com. Please reach out to both of us. We've got all kinds of amazing things to be able to share and make this world a healthier, happier, better place. So,
love and joy to all.
Thank you all. We'll see you next week on Soul-lution Sunday. Have a great week, everyone.